Welcome back, artists. It's me, Miss M. Pigment and I have another new exciting lesson to introduce you to. For this lesson, our element of art highlight is going to be color. Colors are either cool, containing blues and greens, or warm, containing reds or yellows. The color wheel is a way to organize colors. Any two colors directly across from each other on the color wheel are called complementary colors. If you mix them together, they will create brown. Colors that are side by side on the color wheel are called analogous colors. A monochromatic color scheme starts with only one color, like red. You can add darker tones by mixing in black and lighter tones by mixing in white. Artists can use warm and cool colors to show different things in their artwork. Now let's look at some ways that artists use color in their work. What ways do you see warm colors and cool colors being shown in these images? What type of objects are painted using warm colors versus cool colors? Lastly, here are some examples of artists using warm colors and cool colors in their work. Let's review. Our last element of art was space. Remember, it can be two-dimensional, which is what we'll be focusing on this time. In this example, is Pikachu or Eevee in front? How can you tell? This technique is called overlapping. Repeat after me, overlapping. In this example, which pigment is closest to us? How can you tell? Repeat after me, size progression. Just like in the real world, overlapping and size progression shows us what's closest to us and what's further away in space. Artists use this technique when creating work. Now let's go somewhere much colder for inspiration for our project. We are going to create a winter landscape. A landscape is a scenic image of nature. All landscapes have three components: a background, a middle ground, and a foreground. To do this, we're going to use a technique called stamping. The stamping technique in art has been around for thousands of years. The German painter Albrecht Dürer was an accomplished painter, but also known for his lino cuts, which are a way to stamp. Here are some examples of some of his work. Since then, many more artists have evolved to make more modern work. Sean Star Wars, for example, creates works with a modern twist. This is how we will create our stamps using a foam sheet. The area that you push down on with your pencil will come out white when you go to print it. To start, your IA will guide you through drawing 4 different types of trees. You can choose which of the 4 that you like to include in your landscape. The only thing to keep in mind is that whichever one you choose, you will have to do it up close and small, far away. We want to keep in mind that we're showing overlapping and size progression because we want to show space in our landscapes. Next, you will begin your first go-through of the landscape design. Your IA will guide you through and you'll follow along. As you can see in this example, I'm using a variety of lines to show the differences between different textures and different things in my landscape. I'm using size progression to draw larger trees towards the front of my image and smaller ones in the distance. I do the same thing with the snow to show the texture up close is larger and further away is smaller. I'm now going over in a tracing paper the same design that I just did. This is a good example of showing my overlapping in my mountains. I can also do that in my trees and any clouds or textures that I want to add. I'm now on the final trace as I flip my paper over so that the graphite of my tracing paper is against the foam sheet that will be my stamp. I trace my design carefully, making sure that I get every spot, and I'll check again when I take the tracing paper off to make sure that it lines up perfectly. Now that I'm done, I can run my finger over the surface to make sure that it's indented. Anywhere that's not pressed in hard enough, I can go over with a pencil. The lead will not transfer onto my final paper. You will have the choice to choose either warm or cool colors for your print. You will use a brayer to apply the paint to your stamp and push it onto your card. This is an example of what your final print can look like.